All right, hello and welcome everyone to the Trackalicious Sunday Round 9 GT3 Championship here at WatkinsGlen. This is the season finale. Hope everyone is ready and excited. It's going to be some tight racing here tonight. Quite the packed grid for the final race. Got 27 drivers on the grid here tonight. As we stand, a minute and a half left in free practice till we get into the qualifying session. That's going to be split up by two different groups, I guess you could call them. Two different splits. Split 1 drivers, the white plates, and split 2 drivers, the gray plates. As I said, currently just in the free practice session. Hope everyone's having a great night tonight. We see Jacob Padberg topping the time charts right now with a 1:44.0. So actually quite the time. A lot of drivers returning to pits. Ricardo Rivera not too far behind him. Be 2/10 off, 2.5 tenths. Bit of work to do in the qualifying session, but I'm sure he has it in him. Other drivers, we got Rocky Rocco that we're following right now. Very nice livery from him. Oh, well, I was going to say let's take a look at it, but he's going to be going back to the pits. I'm Not Jimmy down here in 10th position currently. About 2 seconds off of pole time. Not looking like he's going to be improving this lap. So I think this is just a spotter lap, out lap, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not even sure he's going to finish it. We will see, as we have 9 seconds left till we get into the qualifying session. And take a quick look while we wait here at our upcoming leagues. And basically we have our break, quote unquote, coming up, which is turned into not a break whatsoever. We have our calendar coming up here. We have our spec series, Cup Car spec series. We have 2-man driver swap on Saturday. We have our rookie series that will be starting up soon. And much more to come. January 9th will be the start of that rookie series. You can see coming soon, live on SimGrid. Other ones, we have our Enduros coming up as well. 6-hour driver swap at Suzuka coming up December 17th. That's going to be in 6 days, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That one is going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Even if there are full on SimGrid, make sure you get in there as a reserve driver, as there are plenty of slots when the time comes for the race start. Typically, a lot of people don't show, and make sure you have that opportunity to get in there, because it's going to be a lot of fun. We can also take a look here at the driver standings. A lot of information taken, a lot of drivers in this league. We are now into qualifying. We can take a look at it in a minute here. But Jacob Padberg is leading currently, and I think theoretically can be passed in points if he DNFs into Ollie Raza. No, I don't think so. Whatever. We'll sell it. It's fine. We'll celebrate at the end of the race. Ollie Raza in P2 battling with Ricardo Rivera. 40 points to the race winner, if I'm not mistaken. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I am. Brian Faluna in 4th position, not far behind as well. Lots of battles to be had in the driver's standings. You can see all the drivers here. And we see the team standings. These are, of course, all of the teams participating in the league so far with all of the points. Puerto Rico E-Racing Club leading the way. Studio 2108. It's going to be Jacob Padberg and I apologize. I know it's fine. Everything's fine. DeMarcus Rogers, I got there. I didn't have to look either. Not even sure he's in this race tonight. But we are getting into qualifying here. So we will jump onto the drivers that are heading out there. I think the drivers that are out on track currently, the split 2 drivers, everyone's GT3 cars. Of course, we have the 42 car, Professor Kenotis, leading the way. Gonna be the first one to start a lap here tonight. And I need to hit drive. Professor Kenotis here, starting his lap. Why don't we hop on board with him as we go diving into T1. Very high speed, sweeping right-hander off camber, riding the curbs, bit of oversteer on exit there. And now coming through the S section somewhat. It's very high speed, intense wall right there at all times. Very easy to drift off into it at any point. Coming into the chicane here, going to be heavy braking right up. Oh, wow. Riding the curbs, very nice. Very deep into the second chicane. Riding the curbs a bit too much, having to let off the throttle a bit more than he would like there, I would imagine. But still, continuing on. Professor Kenotis will be coming down the hill now into the toe. Aptly named after the sector because, or the sector is aptly named because it looks like a boot. And coming into the heel now. Being a little hesitant on the throttle. Steering, getting away from him just a tiny bit. And now coming through that final sector. It's getting just a very high speed track. Lifting off the throttle slightly, running a tiny bit wide, but keeping it on the track. Having to dive all the way into the pit lane basically, but keeping it out there. And we see coming across the line, he will set the fastest lap of a 147. Is it a 7? Can't read that, 1 second. 147.1. Stephen Tomczyk, 147.2 behind. And we also have this lovely new feature. Bam. Look at this. We can see live split timing. Jason Provolone currently with, let's see here, where, how do I, there we go. Rocky Rocco taking pole position with the 145.8. Following along with Jason Provolone right now, of course. You can hop out of that first person view, go into some actual spectating. Rocky Rocco in the Rockefeller Racing Aston Martin here. Car number 647 taking pole position for right now in front of Kenneth Smith for that split 2 drive. And these drivers have until the 10-minute mark to set their qualifying lap. Rocky Rocco right now on the fastest lap. Looking at sectors, I don't know how to look. I'm using a new program. And I don't know how to look at current sectors. I'm sure there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. Alright. We'll see. I think these are live sector times. We do see Christopher Tones, I think, just coming out of the first sector. Is he starting his lap? I don't freaking know. Currently down in P6 is Christopher Tones. Just trying to figure out what I'm looking at here. Christopher Tones coming across timing line there. Okay. George Elmer. We're getting there. We're figuring out new things, everybody. That's okay. We'll figure that out later. It's not important. Rocky Rocco's still holding that pole position quite strong. 145.3 from him. Actually, as I say that, Mark Robinson coming in and taking that off of him. We see 145.3 topping him by about 5/10. Rocky Rocco, though, on a decent improvement right now. His delta improving quite handedly. About 2/10 currently coming into the heel right now, just starting sector 3. But we will see if he can challenge that pole lap back. Lovely livery there, as you can see. Very nice close-up shots through the corners. We also see the AMG there of, I think that is Ricardo Sapien. Currently down in P6. Jason Provolone taking P2 slot for right now. We also have Christopher Tones in P3. Rocky Rocco, though, coming across the line, doesn't challenge that pole position back just yet. Stays in P4 for right now. Jason Provolone, Cheeseman on the improvement. Only 1/100th off of the time there of Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson putting in a stormer of a lap. And split 2 driver. 145.3. Man who started this qualifying session, Professor Kenotis, down here in P10 currently, about a 1.5 seconds off of the pole position timing. Currently coming through the heel as well, but he's going to be the next person to finish lap, currently improving on his time decently. See here as we are at the Glen, of course, here, WatkinsGlen, for the final round of Trackalicious Round 9 GT3 Sunday Series. Coming across the line, there will be a decent improvement. Currently sitting down in P10. Professor Kenotis coming. Will he improve? He does improve 1 position there. Aaron Kuhn dropped down only by about 100th of a second as well. Mark Robinson holding on strong still. No one quite going to be challenging his time just yet. Rocky Rocco has the potential, is currently about 2/10 down off of Kenneth Smith coming across the line. Will he manage to keep that? He does. He does get, Christopher Tones, my bad. Christopher Tones is now dropped down out of that podium slot into the 4th position. And just sorting some things out. We're all good here. Mark Robinson in the pit. That's going to be the end of his qualifying with a 145.3. Satisfying him, Jason Provolone still on a lap. Not sure. I think he has invalidated it, maybe? Although his little blip is still white, so I'm not actually completely sure. He doesn't have a delta time for some reason. Christopher Tones does, though. Christopher Tones currently about 2/10 off of that pole position. Mark Robinson with a 145.3. We saw a 145.0 out of the qualifying session. But we see a 144.0. Anyways. Roby1, how's it going? Hope you're having a great night tonight. Welcome. Christopher Tones is into the gravel there. That's going to be the end of his qualifying, unfortunately. Rocky Rocco there getting held up a little bit by the Lamborghini of Velasquez. Velasquez will be coming to an end of his qualifying as well now as they both come across the line. Rocky Rocco will have to settle for that 3rd position. We see Kenneth Smith Just about a 10th off of the time coming across the line. Has to improve just a little bit. Can he manage to get it done here? Stays in 5th position. So that'll be the end of the split 2 drivers. Pretty much Eric Gakosian actually will be the end of them. Currently sitting down in that last position of the split 2 drivers. And oof, that's not going to help. Eric Gakosian down with the sickness right now, as Disturbed once said. And time not helping too much. Or not helping his time too much, I should say. We do see, though, Brian Faluna up at the front here with Jacob Padberg. Jacob Padberg, our championship leader currently, and I think our mathematical championship winner if he doesn't, like, I don't know. I think he's our mathematical championship winner. I'm not a scientist. All these drivers are very bunched up, though, and this is a very high-speed track. And we're running out of corners. Jacob Hadberg leading the way here. Brian Faluna giving a good amount of space. Oh, you're Robinson. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Robinson. Great qualifying lap. Jacob Padberg getting heat into his tires. We saw until the last minute. Jacob Padberg pushing along currently. Time to beat right now from Mark Robinson is a 1:45.3. Jason Provolone the 1:45.4. And a Rocky Rocco, who had the lead in qualifying there for a little bit. They 1:45.6. Jacob Padberg, though, currently flying along. We can hop on board with him, in fact. Let's do that. That's not the right button. There we go. Getting a little bit wiggly there in the toe. But now accelerating down the straights into Sector 2. Or Sector 3, excuse me. Looking for his braking point into the heel. Very high speed, carrying that speed on the off camber. Trying not to oversteer that car, only wanting to turn left, and you have to force it to turn right. Same here, climbing the small little crest. Big moment of oversteer. That's not going to help too much. But still, Jacob Padberg with a good lap nonetheless. Pushing along here into the final corner. Using all of the track there and coming across the line. Will it be enough for pole position? It is. Jacob Padberg takes pole position. Immediately beaten by Brian Faluna. 1:44.4. 1:44.44 from Brian Faluna. Gage Gonzalez with a 1:44.3. Answering back very quickly. Lots of drivers now pushing along. We're going to see this pole position shuffle quite a bit. I will imagine Tyler Marlowe with 4/10 off the position with a 1:44.7. I'm assuming that we saw a 1:44.0 in qualifying or free practice. Not a 1:45.0. That answers my question earlier. Track conditions 23 degrees currently, along with the weather. So conditions looking quite stable here for the qualifying session. And this is Tyler Marlowe, unfortunately getting held up a little bit by the AMG of, I think that is, well, who is that? Jarek Snyder? Yeah, that is Jarek Snyder. Jacob Padberg, though, with a potential pole position lap right now. But into the last sector, he is up on the time. Has 2 more corners to go into the penultimate corner right now. We see the Honda go. Been very dominant this entire season, Jacob Padberg. 0.16 off of pole position. Coming across the line here very soon to attempt to take that throne, which he has been on very much. He does take it back for now. We don't see Brian Faluna answer. Brian Faluna 7/100ths off of the time and returning to pits, it looks like, to change a little bit in setup or get a little bit more fuel. Jacob Hadberg, though, holding that pole position. All these other drivers as well coming back to pits. Some of them coming out of the pits. Quinn Smith, the 999 Lexus, getting held up a little bit there as well. Currently, though, with a 1:45.4. Currently behind. That was a very nice lap from all of the split 2 drivers there. Mark Robinson, Jason Provolone, Rocky Rocco, Christopher Tones, Kenneth Smith. Very nice lap from all of them indeed. Jacob Hadberg, though, into the 143s now, 143.9. Absolutely flying and trying to make an improvement this lap as well. We'll see if he can do it again. Brian Faluna on an outlap, Ricardo Rivera as well on an outlap, but Ricardo Rivera, I think, will be... Let's see, what do the white flags mean? I don't know. I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point. Jacob Hadberg, though, rounding the penultimate corner into the final corner. Looking to come across the line and make an improvement, because why not? But I don't think he is going to. Not this time around, but he gets at least one more attempt at it, assuming he has enough fuel for this. Depends on how many laps he fueled up for, but if he does have enough fuel, he's going to be absolutely flying. Looking to make an improvement. Brian Faluna here, caught up in a bit of traffic. That's I'm Not Jimmy in front of him. We also see a McLaren here. We can go into the relatives. That's not the right button. And see who is in front of him. Just 2-second gap to I'm Not Jimmy ahead. It's going to be very difficult for Brian Faluna. He will be benefiting from the slipstream there, but this is a very aero-dependent track. Lots of high-speed corners. Going to be very critical that he doesn't get too much dirty air there, but already closing that gap up just a little bit. Nothing against I'm Not Jimmy, of course, just very unfortunate. Brian Faluna, very fast driver, getting caught up, setting a purple sector 1, it looks like. But we will see if Brian Faluna can manage to keep that going. Thank you, Karma, for the follow. Brian Faluna getting by the traffic there of I'm Not Jimmy, but that has already done quite a bit to hamper the lap. We'll go back to the times that matter for right now. He doesn't have much time to catch up, though. Jacob Hadberg. Oh, whoops. Jacob Hadberg is on a flyer. Will be his last attempt. But Brian Faluna also now has plenty of clear air and is going to have one more go at it. I'm Not Jimmy into the pits. That will be the end of his qualifying. Brian Faluna, though, will be pushing on here and right alongside with him. Trying to take that purple sector 1. I think he will manage to do it. Very cautious. Car off the track there, not anything to worry about. So far, so good. Jacob Padberg is back in the pits. He did not make an improvement on his lap. That's going to leave Brian Faluna and Ricardo Rivera to have a go. Brian Faluna doing what he can. Currently up on the time just a bit. And now getting ready to round the penultimate corner. Gaining momentum into the final corner to come across onto the start-finish straight. Gaining speed across the line here. Will it be enough? He doesn't need to gain much, but coming across the line, it's just not enough. 0.02 of a second. Oh my. Human eye, folks, blinks in 0.2 of a champion. Or, sorry, I just read chat. In 0.2 of a second. And that's basically an unfathomable time. But getting into the session now, we have 30 minutes on the clock. 1 mandatory pit stop. It's going to be 2 races here tonight. 1 30-minute, 1 45-minute race. Lord Bless, welcome. We can get some Engelman action. Don't worry, we can get some Engelman action going. For now, though, we're not going to need that. And now, we can do a quick grid rundown. Staring at us straight in the face there is going to be Jacob Padberg and Brian Faluna lining up on the front row. See if we can get a better camera angle here. There we go, that's better. So Jacob Padberg taking that pole position once again. Championship leader. I think ultimately our championship winner. Brian Faluna in P2 here, battling for that P2 slot in the championship with Ricardo Rivera here. No, wait, with Ollie Raza. Ollie Raza's down in 5th. Ricardo Rivera in 3rd position. Tyler Marlowe having a very nice lap, taking that 4th position. Ollie Raza in 5th in that number 30 Honda. Gage Gonzalez in 6th position with the number 13 Honda. Lots of Hondas here tonight. Lots of Hondas here in this season. Honda's been a very good car this season. I'm Not Jimmy in 7th position. Casey Schutte in 8th. Mark Robinson in 9th position, or 1st place for the silver plates. Very good lap from him, beating out even quite a few of the split 1 drivers. Quinn Smith in 10th position. Jason Provolone in 2nd in class, 11th overall. Ross Fallon in P12. We have Rocky Rocco in P3 in class, P13 overall. Lucky P13 for Rocky Rocco here in the 647 Rockefeller Racing Aston Martin. Christopher Tones, P14. We have Kenneth Smith starting in P15. Bronson Turner in P16. George Elmer in P17. Jeremy Engelman, or Jet, in P18. Dalton Oxborough in the McLaren in P19. Andreas Mastachero in P20. Daniel Versosa in P21. Aaron Kuhn in P22. Ricardo Sapien in P23. Professor Kanotis in P24. We have Steven Tomzik in P25. Bruce Hopkins in P26. Ronaldo Velasquez in P27. Jarek Snyder in P28. And bringing up the back of the grid is Eric Gagassian in the number 5 BMW. All right, can breathe again. Currently getting underway into T1 of our formation lap is Ollie Raza here. And no, it's not. Ollie Raza's in 5th. We'll see if Ali Raza can challenge for that pole position, though, come the start of this race. He will need quite the start, I will admit. This is not the easiest track to overtake on. Quite a few high-speed corners, lots of opportunity to make a little bit of bumping and banging. Oh, they're all radio checked. Don't you worry, Lord Wes. We can do, though, take a look here at some of these liveries down the field, which we've seen quite a few times over the course of this season. Some of them, though, a lot newer than others. Rocky Rocco, newer livery as well. Lots of people putting in a lot of effort into their cars, and you absolutely love to see it. Christopher Tones as well, Mr. Mower Emporium. Jeremy Engelman, our livery aficionado. A beautiful Ferrari car that seems to change names quite a few times. It's a Kingfisher Ferrari, though. Gives a very nice rear end shot right there. Nice and stationary for a good amount of time. I was gonna say, okay, I was wondering how long. Nope. My buttons are currently reversed. That's okay, as long as I know that they're reversed. But as I said, 30 minutes to go on this clock. 1 mandatory pit stop. No pit requirements, I don't think. There will be 2 races here tonight, which means we will have another qualified session after this. So don't go anywhere. But especially don't go anywhere right now, as we are getting ready to get into this race start. Drivers warming up their tires. We have 3 different constructors on. No, we don't have 3 different. Never mind. We have 2 different constructors on the top 3. Honda being quite dominant here tonight. Honestly, we'll just go blank for right now. Or will we? Is this just going to be all spammy? We'll figure out. We'll stick with this for right now. There. As the drivers line up, Noah's Ark formation coming 2x2 abreast down the start-finish line here, or start-finish straight. See the drivers facing us down here, getting ready to go underway. We're green here at WatkinsGlen for the second to final race of the season. Cars, great start there from our P4 Casey Schutte. I think that, that's Tyler Marlowe. Amazing start from Jacob Hadberg as well there. We can hop here into the Helicam. See, not too much bumping and banging just yet. Everyone slotting in as they should be. But here we go into the chicane, where these drivers are now going to maybe be getting a little bit impatient. We see some action. The Lexus there of Quinn Smith making a move on to Casey Schutte. Casey Schutte going defensive late on the brakes. They are almost going to make contact, but they don't stay side by side just enough. Both drivers giving each other respect there. That Audi racing hard, but unfortunately going to have to give up that position. Behind that, we see even more action. It's Mark Robinson here. Split 2 driver, split 2 leader, currently battling with the split 1 drivers. And that is right, we will get some Jet Engelman on board. In fact, now is probably a pretty good time. Let's see, where is Jet? Alright, Ferrari 18th. There you are. battling away right now with the Aston Martin of Kenneth Smith in front of him. There's Dalton Oxborough in front of them as well, and Andreas Mastachero to the rear here. We can get up the relatives now that they're actually going to be a little accurate, not all spammy. Oh, great exit there from Jet Engelman or Jeremy Engelman. Gonna have a look down the inside here, but it's gonna get a little bit windy. Hard to stay side by side while flat out. Andreas Mastachero trying to get involved as well, is gonna be making an effort to dive down the inside of the heavy braking zone into the chicane here. We see going into third person, both of them eating the curbs very nicely actually, and having to tuck into the position that they once were. Thank you, Seamus, for the follow. Hey, I appreciate it, Seamus. Jacob Hadberg leading this race currently. Brian Faluna not far behind. Ali Raza managing to make up from P5 all the way up to, well, actually, I can look at all the positions gained so far. So Jacob Hadberg staying in the position that he started. Same with Brian Faluna. Ali Raza gaining 2 positions. Ricardo Rivera losing out on 2 positions. Tyler Marlowe staying where he was. Quinn Smith having a massive gain, starting down in P10 and gaining 3 positions. I'm Not Jimmy losing out on 1, and Casey Schutte as well, losing out on 1 position. Fastest lap currently going to Ali Raza. In fact, is this, let's see. Do you guys want this up? I don't know if this matters. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't not matter? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys want that up or not. Keep it? Alright. I can keep it. It does update. It is pretty cool, I will admit. We got new toys to play with here on the Trackalicious stream. Always trying to improve the stream, make it better. And bit of action up front here. Brian Faluna looking to have a move here on to Jacob Hadberg. Jacob Hadberg going very defensive. Having to take to that inside line. Gonna have to compromise this exit for the next one. And that's gonna set up the switchback for Brian Faluna here. Will he be able to make anything of it? Covered off very nicely. Actually, though, we'll see. Having to give up just a little bit for right now, but hopping on board, we will see the speed of that BMW closing in just a little bit, I will imagine, here under the braking zone. Oh, wow. That's not going to help. Not only is that probably going to be a track cut there for Brian Faluna, that, well, is going to lose out a little bit of time. He does manage to recover quite well from it and pull away from Ali Raza in the process, and it looks like he still is going to have a move, maybe. Nope, thinks better of it. Tucks right into the diffuser of that Honda. Wow. Whew. Sorry, I was yawning as he ate that curb and got extremely out of shape. How rude of me. Ali Raza behind. Now looking to have an opportunity, but also having to look in the rear view mirror there with Tyler Marlowe eating at his rear wing here. Oops. Oops. Nope. There we go. We got there eventually. This track, not the best view. That's not the best view for this track, I should say. But we do see the two Puerto Rico e-racing club members here going at it with each other. Team orders look like to be off tonight. Thank you, Caligo, for the follow. There's a bunch of fast boys up in the front. There's no question about that. Currently just trying to find... Like I said, we're playing with new toys, but new toys mean new problems. But there's a battle happening while this is... What am I doing? I should be fired. Ricardo Rivera trying to make a move there onto Tyler Marlowe. Does give up momentarily, and it looks like actually Gage Gonzalez is being quite nice and not attacking as ruthlessly as he otherwise would if that wasn't his teammate in front of him. Want to jump back a little bit here, though. We do see a big battle going on here. Professor Kenotis fighting alongside here with Ricardo Sapien. Eric Gossian not too far behind. Eric Gossian starting in the back of the grid, making up quite a few positions from the start. We see Ricardo Sapien trying to make a move there on the Audi, or excuse me, on the AMG of Jarek Snyder. Jarek Snyder leading this train. Speaking of train, you guys are following like a train. Thank you guys very much. We have Bonic 86 for the follow. Thank you very much. You see some dirt getting kicked up there in the back. And now the leaders are... Or these aren't the leaders. What am I saying? Lord West, you can't say that. Not here, at least. Looks like these guys have settled down up front a little bit. Have managed to give a decent gap to each other. I think I will say I have not seen too many incidents whatsoever in this race so far. Jacob Hadberg is going to be catching up to Steven Tomzik, though. Steven Tomzik and Kenneth Smith both having made their pit stops so far. Kenneth Smith spending about 34 seconds in the pits. 33 seconds from Steven. That's a decent little reference point for when we see the rest of these drivers decide to come into the pits, which they probably will within the next few laps. Still probably a few to go, though, before they manage to. Ricardo Sapien is going to be looking into his wing mirror, though, at Professor Kenotis. Professor Kenotis, actually, though, I should say, he's still looking to his. Eric Gossian right behind him, along with Velasquez in the Lamborghini, not too far behind either. And running wide, both of them do, and Eric Gossian trying to overtake on his own track, it looks like there. By creating one of his own, I should say. And now, pushing bumper to bumper, we see these two BMWs going at it as that Mercedes up front pulls away. Eric Gossian going to have to take the long way around into the chicane. Can he go late enough onto the brakes? Professor Kenotis does go defensive, eats the curb on the inside, does manage to hold the line, and that's going to put Eric Gakassian into the grips there of Ronaldo Velasquez. Ronaldo and Bruce Hopkins behind, battling the Aston Martin and the Lamborghini, going at it. British on, I mean, I guess, I don't know, are they both German at this? No, I think Aston Martin is, no, I think they're both German. I don't know. Lamborghini is German at this point. But, barring which countries are at war with each other, we will. What? There's contact. They bump each other. What happened? Let's go back and see what happened here. We see the Aston Martin, I think, just getting a little too close under braking. Oof. Yeah. That's big damage on the Aston Martin. Lamborghini looking like Lamborghini coming off of it fairly lightly. But that Aston Martin does stay out. Interestingly enough, we do see Ricardo Sapien, or excuse me, Daniel Versosa, that is, in the pits. Tyler Marlowe here pushing along, has to deal with the pressure from behind of Ricardo Rivera. Ricardo Rivera, over the course of the season, we've seen is a ruthless attacker. I will imagine he will show no mercy. Top drivers, though, need to make their pit stop. I would imagine they're going to stay out as long as they can, though. Considering the fact that they have mostly clean air. Just go for the overcut. Not worry too much about it. Just keep the track position. Mark Robinson attempting to have a look to Casey Schutte, but having to do a bit of work to catch up. See Ricardo Rivera in the pits. See how long it takes him. Pit times we're seeing so far. Fastest pit time is going to be a 32.8 from Gage Gonzalez. That's his teammate. Yes, Gage is in fact trying the undercut. You're not wrong. Gage down in clear air here. Has wide open track in front of him and nothing to worry about, basically. So this might be the right strategy. We see a lot of drivers coming into the pits now. Ricardo Rivera's in the pits, soon to come out. Bronson Turner, Jarek Snyder in the pits. We see Daniel Versosa out of the pits now. Battling, though, happening up front. 15 minutes left to go. Is halfway through this race. Brian Faluna wants a piece of Jacob Padberg. He's going to be trying his absolute hardest here, I would imagine. Trying to have a look into T1. Trying to get it done before that S section is crucial. You cannot go side by side and do it. If you do, it compromises your lap time just way too much to be worth it. Oh, and Ricardo Rivera, Ollie Raza is spun. Why don't we go on board with him here? Bit too much throttle, opposite lock. Oh, just onto the grass and into the barrier. As you can see, it happens so fast here at the Glen. Ollie Raza is going to probably come into the pits this lap, as we do see the race leader, Brian Faluna, and Jacob Padberg. Actually, Brian Faluna staying out. Jacob Padberg coming into the pits. Tyler Marlowe as well. Ollie Raza, after enduring that brief moment with the barrier, is going to come into the pits, has a bit of repair time. We'll see how that affects his stop time. Mark Robinson will take the second place of this race. Preliminary is going to be right behind the lapped car of Bronson Turner. Fastest lap currently going to Brian Faluna, 1:43.9. Stonker of a lap. If Chrono wins this, I will cut my left leg off and beat myself to death with it. You can quote that. I'm glad. Yes. I will jump to Faluna. Faluna not in the pits. He is going to be coming into the pits, so it looks like this lap's slowing down quite a bit. Stays on the line there. Such a short and tricky pit entry as it's right on the straight there, right on the racing line. We do see, let's see, where did Ollie Raza come out? Ollie Raza did have a 33-second pit time. Kenneth Smith with a 34-second. We see, wait, how did Ollie Raza have? Oh, he had a 43. Okay, I see. He had a 43-second pit time. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And then 33 seconds for the fixed time. Okay, so, okay, got it. Bronson Turner with a 67-second pit time, so taking quite a bit of damage onto that McLaren, I would imagine. Jarek Snyder with a stop-go 30. See, Brian Faluna is in the pits. Where is he going to end up coming out, as he has been in the pits for 45 seconds, 46 now. Let's see. I don't fully understand how this works. Unless Brian Faluna taking new tires, potentially. 26 seconds plus 32. Okay, so it's an average of them. 26 seconds stopped or moving? I don't know. Well, look, we're on new tech here, but he's side by side coming out of the pit, so who the hell cares? Jacob Padberg, Brian Faluna battling as we come out of the pits. Good call, Mike Burkov. We see him side by side here. This is going to be Brian Faluna's chance to have the overtake. Has the inside line. Can he go late enough onto the brakes, onto the curbing? Forces him onto the grass just a little bit. This is all fair racing, though. Both of the drivers giving each other just enough space and nothing more. And now, coming into the shoe sector, we see Brian Faluna leading the way of this race, essentially. Currently for P3, but Professor Kanotis in P2 as of right now, and George Elmer both yet to pit. And I would imagine Jacob Hadberg is not going to be too thrilled about that overtake and is going to try pushing along quite a bit here. Rocky Rocco with the stop-go 30 track limits, getting the best of some of these drivers, unfortunately. And it is almost looking like Jacob Padberg is going to have to settle into that position just a little bit. Ricardo Rivera getting held up behind from Daniel Versosa. Lap traffic getting in the way just a tiny bit. See Casey Schutte here. Why does it say he's in a battle? Okay, I need to figure out how to use this app. What about like... Currently, though, as it stands, Professor Kanotis starting in P24. Now leading the race. Still has to make his pit stop. So his tires are going to be quite worn at this point compared to others. Probably will not take tires, I would imagine. Considering it's... the race will be over by the time they even come up to temperature. But Brian Faluna is leading this race, though, after that. So quite the drive so far. Making that overcut strategy work. Has to avoid, though, the track limits. That will be the biggest thing here come the end. Avoiding any penalties. Got to race hard and stay between the white lines. Jarek Snyder is going to get approached onto here as lap traffic. That's going to be P28 there in the AMG. Flashing of the headlights to let him know that he's there. Doesn't quite get out of the way just yet. It is so oh, and running wide again is Brian Faluna, but we see Jarek Snyder getting out of the way before that S section. Would have slowed them down a lot if they had managed to do that, and probably put Brian Faluna under pressure. Brian Faluna, though, handling the pressure right now. I'm Not Jimmy, trying his best to push along and catch back up here with the 999 Lexus of Quinn Smith. Oh, you're probably right. Because the pit time, I mean, I don't know, the pit times are fixed. It's either fixed fuel time or... Oh, and Gage Gonzalez is around. What? See here, Gage Gonzalez, big drift, slides into the grass, just too much throttle, head first into the barrier. That's going to be quite the damage. No longer in showroom condition there for Gage Gonzalez. Drops down to P10 currently, and he hits the barrier on his way back, unfortunately. He's going to come out side by side with Casey Schutte, but that car is going to be battered and bruised. Casey Schutte is no slouch. We'll see if he does manage to battle with him. He doesn't. Casey Schutte lets him by very respectfully. Gage Gonzalez looking like he came off quite lucky from that. I don't see too much visible damage on him. Last lap, though, is a 1:44.4. Coming across the line now, we see a 2 minute and 5 second lap time, so losing quite the amount of, quite the time. Professor Kenotis is still out. He has 5 minutes to go. As we saw on Thursday, though, he did manage to box on the last lap. Brian Faluna and Jacob Padberg are just going to have to continue racing for right now. These two pushing along as hard as they can. I seriously don't understand how to read these deltas on this program, because they're just wrong. We'll figure it out. We will, I assure you. This is all in the name of science, folks. We're doing what we can here to improve the stream, trying new things. Hope everyone appreciates the mainly one new thing that I have on there right now, where you guys can see fastest lap and fastest sector times, along with position, I think, and number. Yeah, Professor Kenotis, he's just kind of driving. He's vibing along right now in the race lead. Led more laps this race so far than Brian Faluna. Just a fact, folks. Professor Kenotis, though, still needs to make his pit stop. Only driver to do so, in fact. Every single driver has made their pit stop besides Professor Kenotis. Ooh, what is this? What? I don't know. Why are the flags changing color? The flags have changed color and they're battling. Wait, is this lap traffic? No, this is... I don't understand. Some very tight neck battling, though, between Tyler Marlowe and Ricardo Rivera here. Tyler Marlowe, very aggressive, trying his best, only has a few more laps to do it. Down the inside, is going to get it done before the chicane even happens. We see Ricardo Rivera struggling for pace just a little bit in that Honda. Maybe has pushed the tires just a tiny bit too far, I'm not sure. Tyler Marlowe, though, is looking like he has the storming pace over Ricardo Rivera. Side-by-side action there. We see Gage Gonzalez and Mark Robison. I just don't know how to find these deltas being correct. Okay, chat, I have ideas. Dude, worst part is I'm not even old. I don't even have an excuse. I'm just struggling with new software. Ross Fallon there getting out of the way. Okay, so the white flag means, well, lapped, I guess, which is in some motorsport series. I suppose those are, yeah, white flags, not blue flags, but still not confusing at all. We're getting to know it. That's okay. Just, everything's new. But what isn't new, or rather, what is new, is Professor Kenotis leading this race. Well, that's a speeding in the pits if I've ever seen one, I would imagine. I don't know. Did he get that stopped in time? That was a very exuberant pit entry. But Professor Kenotis is in the pits now. We see Brian Faluna now leading the race. But it is a fact, Professor Kenotis will have led more laps this race than Brian Faluna. Ali Raza, who was having a very good race, now down in P11 after spinning around and making contact with a wall and having a very long pit stop as a result. But the real show on the road here is Brian Faluna. Brian Faluna leading this race handedly. At this point, Jacob Adberg not anywhere close. No lap traffic in sight. We do see Bronson Turner slightly up the road. Still, though, do not think they will get in the way whatsoever. I'm Not Jimmy leading over Gage Gonzalez as well there. But we'll keep an eye on the prize here. Prize being first position as Brian Faluna rounds the penultimate corner. To round the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. Come down and cross the line to win the first race here tonight. Saturday, round 9. GT3 championship here at WatkinsGlen. Jacob Adberg, I think mathematically now has sealed the championship. I don't think there's any denying that. With his second position, Ali Raza, too far down the field. We can take a, well, let's not take a look. We still got race going on here. But I don't know how to tell the deltas apart. So we see Gage, oh my, I want to, okay, hang on. Hang on. Whoa. We see Gage Gonzalez and I'm Not Jimmy. I'm Not Jimmy leading the way right now. Let's check this out. Coming around the final corner, we see Gage Gonzalez with a very nice run. I'm Not Jimmy tucking to the inside. And photo finish across the line. Holy cow. I'm Not Jimmy does manage to hold the position, but almost throws it away there. Rocky Rocco, who started in pole position for the silver. Wait, did he start in pole? Where did he start? He lost 11. He started P13. Yeah, I think that was pole. He lost 11 positions there. Jason Provolone as well, losing out 11 positions. Eric Gakassian, though, finishing in P4. He's finished in P19. And managed to make up 10 positions. Starting in last place, P29 there tonight. But a post-race celebration. This new program is quite interesting, I will admit. So, we will now take a look here at our future. Yes, that means I am a fortune teller. We are going to take a look at the future, and what the future has to tell you is our 2023 race calendar coming up. So, you can see here all the races we have planned for our quote-unquote break coming up. We have a nice little break at the end of December, beginning of January, where we will fill the break time with a new rookie championship. We have a GT4 rookie championship starting January 9th. Not quite live on SimGrid yet, coming soon. You can see the other events that we have, though. The GT3 Enduro here, coming up very soon, in fact. On the 17th, we have a 6-hour driver swap at Suzuka. So if you are not signed up for that, make sure you guys do take a look. We can see, I'll type exclamation SimGrid, because I did a command. Look at that. I did remember to do that. And you can also, if you do it correctly, you can see there our Discord information, where you can join up and find any information that you want about our lovely, lovely community. We're just in a free practice session right now with 5 minutes to go while we wait to get underway. We can also take a look here at the driver standings. Jacob Hadberg at this point, I think, has firmly sealed the championship. So, whoops. So, yay, Jacob Hadberg. Congratulations. You've won. I hope you're happy with your celebration. Okay. That's enough celebration for Jacob Hadberg. No Formula One award ceremony here. Sorry, brother. But you do get some balloons, so I hope you're happy with your balloons. Jacob Hadberg, though, winning the Drivers' Championship. Ollie Raza and Brian Faluna still battling it out for P2. I think Brian Faluna maybe... Wait. It's Ricardo Rivera, not... Yeah, there's a lot of battles going on. I don't know who's going to win what, because the results aren't uploaded immediately until after penalties are scored, of course. So, we will see. For all I know, Jacob Hadberg, I suppose, could be disqualified from the entire league. He'd still be champion. He'd just be a disqualified champion, which is irrelevant. You can also see team standings real quick. 2 minutes left in free practice as well. If you guys are into that stuff, I don't know, team standings, not as important, as there's a lot of later joins. I mean, points in general, not as important. There's nothing on the table. No prize money, no nothing, just pride. Pride. That's all there is. But that means a lot to a lot of people. And you know what, Padberg? I'll give you... There you go. One more balloon. Congratulations. Okay. The last balloons for Padberg. Hope everyone's enjoying it so far. We do have a little bit longer to go till we get into our next qualifying session. Guess now would be a good time to thank our partners and friends over at Box 3 949. Massive shout out to them, representing those communities massively. Love all the drivers, all of the admins, anyone involved in those communities. Thank you guys very much, because we also couldn't do what we do without you guys. So thank you. Or at least we wouldn't be able to do it as well. So massive appreciation there. I think I figured it out, guys. I figured out the deltas. I learned how to see how close people are now. Very exciting. Girls are going to want to talk to me more. So, yeah, maybe not. Okay. Daniel Versosa leading the timesheet currently. Christopher Tone's not too far behind. But 145.2, we see a night session here, as I think this will be a night race. And we now are into... Oh, we're back into the pits, that's all. Good time to hydrate. Get some water. Stay hydrated, chat. Make sure you guys don't dry out like a prune. Water is the potion of life, of course. Now we will see our split 2 drivers get out onto track right away. Drivers now coming out onto the pits. Why don't we do that one for right now? Because there's no times. Save window space or something like that. Kenneth Smith leading the way here into the second qualifying session of our 45-minute race here tonight. Will be a night race here at the Glen, WatkinsGlen, of course. Round 9, 2022 GT3 Championship. It's going to be the final round here. We have our split 2 drivers out on track currently. 357 car of Kenneth Smith we're along with right now, that Aston Martin leading this qualifying pack. And drivers now going to be trying to get as much heat into the tires as they can. Track temp 18 degrees. Weather outside as well, 18 degrees. Looking like there isn't going to be any rain here tonight. We are going to get underway here in our qualifying session. We'll be on board here with the Pan Am Ghost, number 357, Aston Martin, as we come barreling into turn 1 in the darkness here. Heavy braking. Running a little bit deep. Could have maybe used a tiny bit more curb on the inside. Now the flat out S section, very tricky indeed. Trying your best not to understeer whatsoever here. Flat out the entire way as we get ready to approach the chicane, where it's going to be heavy braking, tucking the nose and aiming for that second chicane, and just feathering the throttle through this section. Very nice, Kenneth Smith. We see coming into the toe. This is all about throttle control, the off camber, just trying your best to wait until you can get on the throttle as early as you possibly can to punch out of there. That corner just wants to turn you into the barrier, essentially. Well, makes you want to go straight on into the barrier, I should say. A little bit late on the brakes there. Could have carried a tiny bit more speed, potentially. We will see, though, after completing a lap here of WatkinsGlen, what sort of time Kenneth Smith can put in. Coming across the start-finish lane here. First night lap in qualifying is a 1:46.0. Definitely time to be made up. I think we will see some improvements on that time as we see now drivers coming across the line. Stephen Tomzik with a 1:48.1. That was an abysmal lap. Christopher Tones with a 1:45. Oh, he took pole. Why is my thing isn't updating now? Okay. This app, we're getting there, guys. P1 to Christopher Tones. Yeah, but why though? That's weird. Anyways, Mark Robinson not too far off the pace, 1/10. Rocky Rocco there just taking that pole position. This is so confusing. I hope it doesn't stay like this. We'll see. Why don't we just give her a quick disconnect, reconnect? Lovely, that worked, I think. Yes. That worked. Okay. We're saved. Thank you for being patient, chat, while we try new technology. Here, Jason Provolone is on a flying lap. Currently doesn't have a time set. Will be coming across the line here relatively shortly. What sort of time can Jason Provolone set? The Stinky Cheese Man is going to set a P3 time there of a 1:45.3. Kenneth Smith 1:45.2. Fastest lap so far, 1:45.3 as well from Christopher Tones. Rocky Rocco with a 1:45.4. Professor Canoas with a 1:45.7. And Mark Robinson is going to be coming across the line here relatively shortly to make a good improvement. 10th off of pole position there. 1:45.3 from him. I will say, it's impressive how well these splits are divided. Rocky Rocco, 0.03 off of that pole time. He's going to be trying to make an improvement. Not this lap, though. Is already 0.5 down off his previous lap. Looks like as well, Rocky Rocco, yeah, has abandoned that lap now. Mark Robinson, though, only a 10th off, is going to be trying to make an improvement as well. Jason Provolone, where's he at? Jason Provolone is going to be coming across the line a little bit sooner there. We'll see him make an improvement as well. Currently about a 10.5 off of pole time. A couple more minutes left to go in his qualifying. They have until 10 minutes to set to come across the checkered flag. After the checkered flag falls, they will. There is no checkered flag, but still, after the imaginary checkered flag falls at the 10-minute mark, they are not allowed to set another time. Jason Provolone into P2 there. They 1:44.8, 1:44.5 from Christopher Tones, so time's improving quite a bit here. Track temp staying relatively the same, 18 degrees both ambient and track temp. Mark Robinson coming across the line does make an improvement to go up to third position. Not enough though for that pole, 0.6 off of the time. These guys jumping in the 144s, I will say, quite impressive from them. That's going to be up there with the split one drivers, honestly, with even some of the faster split one drivers. And it looks like Christopher Tones is wanting to improve on that time, because why not? 0.3 improvement already. Not too much of the lap to go. Just entered Sector 3 not too long ago. Turn into it. 144.5 from him currently. We'll see if, I think that's George Elmer. See if George Elmer in the Nissan does hold him up. I don't think he will. If anything, it might help him a little bit with a slipstream down the start-finish straight. Checkered flag is a ways down the straight, but not too far. Comes onto it. Got to make an improvement here into 144.0 from Christopher Tones. Absolutely stonker of a lap. Is going to be the end of his qualifying. I don't blame him. I don't think he's going to be able to beat his own time there. Very good lap from Christopher Tones. Mark Robinson trying his absolute hardest here, making an improvement so far. Currently sitting out in P4. Has to gain about a second, which I don't think anyone here will in the split two. No offense to them, but that was a crazy lap from Christopher Tones. And now coming across the line, he does make an improvement, but not quite enough to overtake Kenneth Smith. Rocky Rocco coming across the line does get ahead of Mark Robinson, though, by just the slightest margin. George Elmer here in the Nissan as well, making an improvement. Ricardo Sapien in front of him in the pits. He has to make about a 0.2 improvement to gain any position onto Ricardo. We see Ricardo Sapien here. Will he manage to hold on to that position? 2 more corners to go for George Elmer. Jump on board with him in that purple Nissan. As we come around the final corner, sparking in the rear view mirror there as the diffuser, or the skid plate, whatever, scrapes along the ground. And we come across the line. It is enough to overtake Ricardo Sapien there. 4P6. That will be the end of George Elmer's qualifying. We will also start to see our split one drivers coming out on the track now. They have a ways to go, though. Rocky Rocco is trying to make an improvement and is currently doing so. Only a couple more corners to go. Doesn't have to improve much at all to get onto that podium. Currently in P4, looking to take that P3 position from Kenneth Smith, maybe even from Provolone. It'd be very tricky to do so, though. Coming across the line, will it be enough? It is enough to overtake Kenneth Smith, but not enough for Provolone. Still, great lap there from Rocky Rocco. Eric Kossian, I think, is going to be the last driver to finish their lap. And doesn't look like they're going to be making an improvement. A 145.7 from Eric Kossian. We do see, though, the 888 car of Padberg here, leading the way in the split one qualifying for the final qualifying of this season. Has been quite the season indeed. Jacob Padberg, we are watching now, our championship leader and championship winner, is going to be starting his lap. The 30 car right behind him. 30 car, I think, is that Brian? That's Ollie Raza, of course. We can ride along with Ollie Raza here as we come diving down into turn one. Pushing along now into the S section. Very tricky. Especially at night. Unspotted everything. The corners are already pretty much blind. At night, well, you guessed it. Up into 6th gear. Getting ready for the heavy braking, riding the corner, aiming for that second apex. Trying to hit every single curb like whack-a-mole. And then just feathering that throttle, running a bit onto the marbles there. That's actually not quite where he would want to be. Still pushing along into the massive banked toe section here. Coming into Sector 3, the start of that. Where it's just a couple more corners to go until we get to that start-finish line. You can see the headlights of the car up ahead. That's Jacob Padberg in the 888. Bit of a moment on exit. Lightly accelerating through that corner the whole time. Now coming through the final corner. Onto the throttle as soon as he can. Is going to try to take that pole position back from... Wow, Christopher Tones holds it. Holy cow. What a lap. Tyler Marlowe, though. What a lap from him as well. Tyler Marlowe coming across the line to beat out Christopher Tones. Christopher Tones, a split 2 driver, setting a absolute incredible lap. Track conditions have cooled down just slightly, down to 17 degrees. Brian Faluna is going to be hungry for that pole position as well. Has a bit of work to do, though. 8/10 off the pace from their first lap. And making a decent bit of improvement on this one. But still a bit of work to go. Still a bit of track to go, though, as well. So, plenty of ground to make up the time. Jacob Padberg as well in the same boat, leading the way currently. Well, like I said, he's not leading the way anymore. But he was the first driver out onto track in this split 1 qualifying. Continuing on, though. He is going to round the penultimate corner, which we've seen has been so tricky. Trying your best to blend that throttle into the final corner here. It's just about setting up corner after corner, rounding it now, trying to carry all the speed you can. Start-finish line is very far away. Trying to make an improvement. He is going to come across the line. That's the pole position, 1:43.3 from Jacob Padberg. Lovely time, Gage Gonzalez. Not too far behind with a 1:43.4. Brian Faluna taking that with a 1:43.45. 1:43.47 from Gage Gonzalez. Tyler Marlowe trying his best to challenge. Didn't quite make an improvement last lap. Actually, he did. 1:43.8. Still holds him in 4th position. Ollie Raza still not quite enough pace to get by Christopher Tones just yet. That 609 Aston Martin with quite the lap. As I said before, Casey Schutte looking like he messed up his lap just a little bit down in P14. Making a good bit of improvement so far, but has maybe potentially traffic in front of him there. I think that's Ross Fallon in the 55 Porsche. Ross Fallon is on an improvement, though. So I don't think Ross will be getting out of the way too easily here. Jarek Snyder is going to be the car in front of them, the 85 AMG. And we will see here if that AMG is going to help or hinder this Porsche. This Porsche already struggling right now, so honestly, anything can help at this point. We see there Ross Fallon going slightly defensive down the straight, but nothing enough to compromise the line. Very smart indeed. And actually, here, wait, okay. I see. I see how this works. No, I don't. Program can be a bit goofy sometimes. That's okay. Jacob Padberg with the fastest lap still. Lapping last lap actually at a 1:43.51, 1:43.3. So he is on a rapid pace. Tyler Marlowe. I should probably get the relatives up. No, it's backwards. There we go. No, I shouldn't. It's qualifying. This is just, once again, new program, everyone. I apologize for the minor technical hitches. Ollie Raza here, pushing behind Jacob Padberg. Jacob Padberg on a decent improvement. Actually, no longer messing up that corner just a little bit. Is going to put him out of the running for an improvement on this lap. Does look like he slows down. He's going to set up his next lap. Let Ollie Raza by. Potentially get a little bit of slipstream on the start-finish straight. That wouldn't be too bad. Or the back straight after the S's. Just try to stay out of that dirty air. Coming across the line is Ollie Raza. Does make a good improvement for 2 positions. Tyler Marlowe taking pole position, 1:43.2. Nice. Tyler Marlowe getting very comfortable in that Audi coming the end of the season. Looking forward to see what he can do in the next. Driving the wheels off of this car. Jacob Padberg is on a flying lap as well. Isn't improving anything yet, but isn't losing time. Well, Tyler Marlowe not too far behind either. Still quite the few drivers on track. Quite a few drivers have come into the pits, though, I think, from Split 1, which is interesting. Maybe not. No, yeah, they definitely have. Quinn Smith, Ollie Raza. Yeah, there's been some drivers that have come in that are satisfied with their laps. Now, though, it doesn't matter if you are not on a flying lap. Checkered flag has fallen. You will no longer be able to start a flying lap. Tyler Marlowe running wide there. That's not going to help his time. Jacob Padberg, though, isn't on an improving lap. Has only a couple more corners to try to get anything he can out of that. Has to gain a 1/10.5. I don't think that's going to happen. Tyler Marlowe does give up on his lap. He's going to return to the pits. And now we see Jacob Padberg coming across the line. It's not enough. Brian Faluna trying as well. Currently even on time. Trying to get the best exit he can onto the start-finish straight. Has to make up about a 10th. Going to be quite the challenge to do so in just one little bit of straight, and I don't think he's going to manage to do it. Brian Faluna comes across the line, is not enough, doesn't make any improvement. Other drivers still in laps here. I'm not Jimmy. On a lap, about a 10th. About 3/10 off time, and he's about 3/10 off of his time. So yeah, he will not be improving position on this lap. Does come back into the pits as we see the end to qualifying here. That is qualifying of race 2 of our final race of the season, round 9, GT3 Fall 2022 Championship here at WatkinsGlen. So currently, a little bit to go before the race starts. We got about 2.5 minutes till we get into it. And Tyler Marlowe is going to be taking our pole position. I need to drink water before we do this. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Tyler Marlowe with an absolute stormer of a lap. He's going to start in pole position in that number 3 Audi. He's gotten very comfortable with that Audi over the season. I will give him that. Making quite strides on improvement. Jacob Padberg here, our championship winner. Starting in P2, 888 car. Getting ready to look down the outside this time of T1. Brian Faluna is going to line up behind him at 23 BMW. Starting in P3, Gage Gonzalez in P4. Ollie Raza starting in P5. Ricardo Rivera in P6. Christopher Tones in P7. Quinn Smith starting in P8. I'm Not Jimmy in P9. Jason Provolone in P10. Rocky Rocco in P11. I guess Kenneth Tones, I should say. That's one. Or Christopher Tones. Stormer. Absolute stormer of a lap. Setting a 144.0 in qualifying. Absolutely topping the charts of the split 2 drivers. Quinn Smith, an extremely rapid driver, couldn't even answer that time. I think we just saw a driver drop out. I'm Not Jimmy in P8. Jason Provolone in P9. Rocky Rocco in P10. Casey Schutte in P11. Kenneth Smith. Okay, we're good. They're back, I think. Kenneth Smith in P12. Mark Robinson in P13, Jeremy Engelman in P14, Ross Fallon in P15, Andreas Mostachero in P16. We have starting in P17, Bronson Turner, Dalton Oxborough in P18, George Elmer in P19, Ricardo Sapien in P20, Professor Chronotis in P21, Eric Kossian in P22, Aaron Kuhn in P23, Daniel Versosa in P24, Steven Tomzik in P25, Jarek Snyder in P26, Ronaldo Velasquez in P27, and Bruce Hopkins bringing up the back of the grid in the number 60 Aston Martin. So 28 drivers on the grid here for the final race. 45 minutes on the clock. We are now getting underway for our our second and final formation lap of this season here at the Glen. Before we get going, while we have the time, we can take a quick look at our 2023 calendar here. You can see future events that we have coming up. Some very soon, some sooner than others. We have on the 14th, we have excuse me, not the 14th, the 17th. We have our 6-hour driver swap event. Last one we had at Donington Park. This one is at Suzuka. This is going to be an extremely fun and eventful event. Driver swap. Make sure you guys sign up with your friends. All of these are, of course, on SimGrid, and if you're interested, in our Discord as well. We have a Cup Car Spec Series starting up very soon as well. 2-man driver swap on Saturdays. They're in yellow. They're kind of hard to see. And we have the GT4 Rookie League continuing on January 9th. Dogo with a rating party of 19, my man. Absolutely great timing as we are just currently taking a look at the calendar for Trackalicious, but we are in a 28-man race about to start to get underway here. We have a good amount of people on the grid here. As I said, 28 currently. Tyler Marlowe leading the way, Jacob Hadberg in second, Brian Faluna in third. Drivers weaving around, getting as much heat into their tires as they can. Stormer of a lap from Tyler Marlowe. You should be in there, you're right. Much appreciated for the raid, though. Hope you had a great stream. 19 viewers, doing pretty good. Track temp looking a little bit chilly out there. It's 17 degrees Celsius. Track temp 17 degrees ambient. We have clear weather on the horizon. GT3s all up and down the field. We have Ricardo Rivera starting in the pits, unfortunately. Looking like they joined late, so 29 drivers on the grid, actually. I think Ricardo Rivera experienced a disconnect there while we were waiting in the pre-race session thing. Drivers, though, lining up 2 by 2. Noah's Ark formation as we are going to get ready here to round the final corner for the season finale of Trackalicious GT3 Championship, round 9 here at WatkinsGlen. We're going 2 abreast. Tyler Marlowe leading this pack. Haven't seen Tyler Marlowe lead the pack too many times. Sounds good, Dogo. Enjoy. As we are about to go green here at the Glen for the final time. We're green underway here. Great start from Tyler Marlowe. Jacob Hadberg not quite with a manage to get it. We see a lot of action in the back, though. Oh, there's massive contact. We see the Audi is round. There's massive contact. Holy cow. Tyler Marlowe is getting... Oh, they're bumping and banging. That is huge. You hate to see a start like that. There are loads of drivers involved in that pileup. I need to go back and see that one more time. Let's see that from the perspective here of it, Rocky Rocco. I don't know. Rocky Rocco runs wide onto the gravel and just T-bones. Unfortunately, car coming out of absolutely nowhere, rejoining the track, takes out absolutely carnage. Holy cow. Cars returning to pits. Lots of cars returning to pits. That was not how you want to see a race start. We have 5 drivers returning to pits after that. Massive, massive pile up in T1 there. Hate to see it at WatkinsGlen for the season finale especially. There's even more incidents going on. We see Bruce Hopkins is currently sideways with a car. They're in a T formation. What has happened here? Just some side swiping. Ooh, and big contact there from Professor Cronotis. And I think that was Gage Gonzalez as well, or Ricardo Rivera, that is. Even more cars joining the pits. We have 6 cars in the pits right now. That's insane. The leaders are holding off pretty well, though. Brian Faluna leading the way. Wait. Oh, yeah, of course. I was like... Yeah, where did Tyler Marlowe go? Oh, that's right. He got hit about 50 times. Forgot. Whoa! Big moment there from Gage Gonzalez getting out of shape in the chicane. Almost ending his race potentially, but luckily he has the talent to keep that out of it. Sticking right with Brian Faluna, though, is Gage Gonzalez. This action, I would imagine, is going to continue for a while. Ollie Raza a bit further back. Quinn Smith benefiting from that pile up massively. Let's see here. Positions gained. We have Brian Faluna, who started in 3rd position, currently leading the way. Gage Gonzalez, who started in 4th, in 2nd. We have Jacob Padberg, who started in 2nd place, losing out 1 position in that incident, down into 3rd. And actually, Jacob Padberg is... What? There's a restart. All right. That doesn't surprise me. Considering the fact that, like, I think we had 7 drivers that were back in the pits. That doesn't surprise me. So we're going to have a repeat. Hopefully not a repeat, but a repeat. Tyler Marlowe will have a chance once again to have a shot at taking the lead of this race, not getting absolutely murdered into T1. I think that definitely was the right call there from the admins. That was real life racing. That would have been a very expensive pileup. But we'll do another grid rundown. Why not? Yeah, he was definitely, yes, he was sent to another galaxy. Yes, there's no question there. Tyler Marlowe, who had a very rude ending to his last race. Regardless if it was his fault or not. I don't know if it was or wasn't. Still not the way you want to end your race. Jacob Hadberg in second position. 888 Honda. We have Brian Faluna in the number 23 BMW taking third position. Gage Gonzalez in fourth. Ali Raza in fifth. Christopher Tones in sixth position in that 609 Aston Martin, leading the silver tags. And we have Quinn Smith in the 999 starting in 7th. I'm Not Jimmy starting in 8th. Jason Provolone in 9th. Rocky Rocco in 10th. Casey Schutte in 11th. Kenneth Smith in 12th. Mark Robinson in 13th. Ross Fallon in 14th. Andreas Mostachero in 15th. Bronson Turner in 16th. Dalton Oxborough in 17th. George Elmer in 18th. Professor Cronotis starting in P19. And we have the number 5 car of Eric Gossian starting in P20. Aaron Kuhn starting in P21. Daniel Versosa, P22. Stephen Tomzik, P23. Jarek Snyder, P24. Ronaldo Velezquez in P25. Bruce Hopkins in P26. Ricardo Rivera starting in P27. And Ricardo Sapien starting in P28 in the back of the grid in the 263 AMG. So, still 28 drivers on the grid after that race restart. And now we are going to get into a restart of our formation lap here. So, as I said before, that would be our final... I guess I cursed it a little bit. That was our final formation lap. This, hopefully, will be our final formation lap. Oops, I hit my mic. Sorry. Time to hydrate once more. Repeat the formation lap. Why not? Make sure you guys stay hydrated, chat. Drink that lovely H2O. Can't get enough of it. Taking a look at this field here. We also can take a look at the season standings. Why not? While we're here. We have the driver standings. Sorry, a little bit bright because it's a night race, I know. We have the season standings here for the currently up until this race. This race has not been scored, obviously. We see Jacob Hadberg leading the way and taking the championship. Great job from Jacob Hadberg. Ali Raza not too far behind, battling for third position, or battling for second position, along with, I think, 3 drivers. Not sure if that was sealed yet or not, but once again, the points, they're all for fun anyways. We see team standings here. Puerto Rico E-Racing Club leading the way in points by a good margin. Others behind. Once again, all for fun mostly. But we also, I'll give Padberg one more. Congratulations, Padberg. You have won the Drivers GT3 Championship. You got some balloons. There you go. I hope you're happy. That is Jacob Padberg here in the 888 Honda. Great season from him. Great season from him in all regards. We also can take a look at our calendar. For anyone interested, you can type !SimGrid because I finally remembered. Check out our SimGrid if interested in any events. Got our GT3 big driver, or our Enduro, GT3 Enduro coming up 6 hours at Suzuka, December 17th. Make sure you guys are there. If you guys aren't there in the race, make sure you guys at least check out the stream. I will be streaming that. I'm Mike Nause, and we are getting ready here to get back into the race restart. Or what race restart? There was no race restart. This is the final race of the season. Everything went perfect. It always goes perfect. Anyways, we're in it now. Jacob Padberg leading the way. For some reason. He isn't out. Tyler Marlowe is there. Okay, Tyler Marlowe was just hiding. As we line up 2x2, Noah's Ark formation, getting ready to get underway here. Let's get, there we go. Cars ready to go. We have Tyler Marlowe on the inside. Let's hope we don't have a repeat of last race as we get ready here. Cars slowly lumbering down the straight. And we are racing here at WatkinsGlen, the final race of the season. It's not the greatest start from Tyler Marlowe. Great start from Jacob Padberg. Also great start from Gage Gonzalez behind, challenging immediately into T1. We see Tyler Marlowe having a good lead. Not as much carnage this time. In fact, no carnage really at all. Lovely to see. And a bit of a move there. Ollie Raza trying to make a move on to Gage Gonzalez. Can he make anything of it just yet? Is going to also be under threat from Quinn Smith from behind. Quinn Smith trying to make the move round the long way into the chicane. Is already by down the straight. That Alexis Power doing wonders. Ollie Raza having to tuck in into the slipstream now. Behind. There is a couple cars off. Nothing though. Too bad Aaron Kuhn with the drive-through penalty. Jarek Snyder. Oh! Go back and see that one. We see a car. We see a McLaren facing around the wrong way. Jarek Snyder loses it into the chicane. Oh, and gets a massive T-bone. And sitting still on the track. Oh, and he hits the gas. Snyder. That's like... I mean, it happens to the best of us. I'm not Jimmy in 7th position, though. Pushing along. Christopher Tone's not too far behind. Christopher Tone's leader of our silver plates. Jason Provolone right behind him. Tyler Marlowe coming across the line for the first time. What the heck? Gage Gonzalez forgot his middle pedal. And lost quite a few positions as a result. What just happened here? Let's go into first person as we're looking down the perspective here of Gage Gonzalez at the rear bumper here of Brian Faluna. Whoo! Meant to do that. Definitely meant to do that. Is going to rejoin the action in P6, battling now with Quinn Smith ahead. Definitely going to need a new pair of underwear after that. Gage Gonzalez with quite toasty brakes as well. Yeah, I don't know how to read these timing charts yet. Jacob Padberg right on the tail. In fact, he's going to tuck into the inside, having a little bit of a look on a Tyler Marlowe, at least making him a little bit antsy. Two cars have returned to the pits. I think at least one has retired for sure. I think Mark Robinson is leaving the pits, though. Ah, that sucks, Bruce. Yeah, that wasn't the cleanest of starts on the first one. Second one definitely was a lot better, but there were a couple issues. But with 28 drivers on the grid, I mean, it's at a certain point somewhat what you expect, but, you know, it just sucks to be the victim, I know. Currently fastest lap from Tyler Marlowe, 1:43.9, so he is flying. Yeah, exactly. At least he got it. It happens. It sucks. Big battles going on down here, though. Kenneth Smith. A lot of silver plates here. Also, one white plate of Casey Schutte. Jason Provolone trying to make a move onto Casey Schutte there. That Porsche looking very, very attack heavy. And Casey Schutte not quite with the pace that you would expect from him. Maybe picking up a little bit of damage, maybe with an incorrect setup, I'm not sure. And what the heck? Christopher Tones just... Did he forget his middle pedal? Everyone's forgetting their middle pedal today. Oh! Yeah, just a shunt into the barrier. Hey, there you go, Bruce. Thank you for joining us here, at least, in the stream. Much appreciated. Sorry your race didn't go well. Hope you had a good season, though. And hope to see you in the next seasons. As well as the off seasons. Tyler Marlowe leading the way, and we also see Aaron Kuhn with the drive-through penalty down in P23. These two looking quite satisfied. I think Jacob Hadberg is going to be quite content with where he's at, but also I say that, and I don't think that's true. No, I don't think that's true at all. Jacob Hadberg, a well-known opportunist. Think any mistake out of that Audi, and he is going to try to pounce. Also see Ali Raza about the same distance away from Brian Faluna here. Kenneth Smith, silver plate driver. What happened here? Kenneth Smith was up with Casey Schutte up in P6. Or P7, excuse me, has dropped down to P10 now. 357 Aston Martin with a stonking qualifying. And not quite making it turn out into the race just yet. Is now with the pack here of Jason Provolone, Rocky Rocco, and a few others. Casey Schutte, who he was racing with there. And I think the leader of this pack is Quinn Smith. Not really. Casey Schutte's more the leader of that pack. Quinn Smith not too far ahead, though. Andreas Mastachero battling with Ross Fallon and Professor Kanotis for P14 here, or P13. No, 14. Side by side, here we go into T1. Ross Fallon trying to make the move. Can he make it stick late on the brakes as the Porsche? They both give each other enough space. Running wide is the BMW. Professor Kanotis is going to have to yield that position, and in fact is now going to be in a battle with another Porsche. Andreas Mastachero trying to make the move onto him in the S section. Going to have the advantage coming on the exit and is going to take it. This also is going to put Professor Kanotis in a vulnerable position from Daniel Versosa from behind. Daniel Versosa is going to have to try to take the long way around. They almost go three wide momentarily. Professor Kanotis does take the position back from Andreas Mastachero, though. What a battle. Professor Chronotis doing everything he can to stay ahead of this Porsche for right now. That AMG as well, very antsy. The Lamborghini of Velasquez not too far behind Eric Gakassian as well. This is a massive train. Side by side again. Andreas, though, looks like he's going to have the advantage. Will Ricardo Sapien try to make a move? Not late enough onto the brakes. Very easy pass there for Andreas. We see the 263 car of Ricardo Sapien off. What happened there? I don't know, but I hope I didn't see it and then didn't see it. Eric Gakassian has a yellow flag. What's happened here? Ooh, it looks like there might have been a bit of contact with the Lamborghini of Velasquez there. Or at least a close call indeed. Luckily, staying out of the barrier there. Just losing a tiny bit of time. Not the end of the world. Wow. What a shiny McLaren. Holy cow. Why is that McLaren so shiny? Dalton Oxborough battling with Christopher Tones here. I'm going to follow this McLaren for a little. I want to see those shines again. That was a glossy McLaren. Down the move. Oh, wow. Running a little bit wide is Christopher Tones. This is going to give the opportunity to the McLaren. Down the back straight. He's going to have the inside line coming into the heel. Can the McLaren go late enough onto the brakes? McLaren not necessarily known for its late braking, but he does get it done. Lovely overtake there. Very opportunistic move indeed from Dalton Oxborough. We see the reflective, shiny McLaren get that move done. Christopher Tones falling through the field just a little bit. All the drivers running wide there. Happens. All right, here we go. This is where we're going to see drivers coming in the pits, of course. But mainly, we're going to see a very shiny McLaren here. Now, that's the goal. Let's see it. That wasn't a shiny McLaren. Oh, I think it's going to do it. Oh, look at that. Just a little bit. Just a tease. Wow. Oh, yes. I'm blinded by the light. Fed up like a deuce. Everything's right now. It's exactly what I was looking for. But back to actual action. We see Daniel Versosa battling along here with Ronaldo Velasquez. Velasquez in the Lamborghini, holding pretty decent pace so far. We see drivers coming into the pits. Quite a few drivers. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers have made the pit stop so far. It is one mandatory pit stop. I think mandatory tire change. Actually, I'm not sure how accurate that is. It says that Eric Gakassian has pit, but he definitely has not, so. App is mildly confused, but that's okay. Ross Fallon fighting very hard here with Andreas Mastachero. Andreas Mastachero, like a bulldog, hot on the heels here. Ross Fallon, you saw car twitching just a little bit, and he is even going just slightly defensive. Very worried about that pressure from behind. Can he keep it up? Porsche on Porsche action here. Very tricky battle here. Okay, this camera angle is no good. take a look here at Daniel Versosa, maybe even making a move here onto Velasquez. Sticks with him for right now. Eric Gakassian right on the tail as well. Daniel Versosa runs wide onto the curbing. That's going to give the opportunity to Eric Gakassian. Eric Gakassian, though, not with the speed to keep up there. Is going to stick with him for now. See these 4 cars. Professor Kenotis just up ahead as well. Looking like this battle is going to be going on for a while now. Tyler Marlowe still leading this race. Jacob Padberg in second, and Brian Faluna still in third, so nothing has happened up there just yet. But these guys battling it out for that pride position. It's not last, but this is a very prideful battle indeed. Andreas still trying his best. Probably should not have done that on the straight. But that's okay. Rocky Rocco getting close to Ricardo Rivera. Rocky Rocco, another driver who has become extremely rapid, extremely quickly. Now, when they joined the league, I don't know, I'm not sure if their pace just wasn't quite comfortable with the other drivers, getting the feel for them, but they immediately jumped in that seat and, well, are dominating pretty well for being a Division II driver. No doubt about that. Shown very good qualifying pace as well as race pace. It's one thing to have quali pace. You got to be able to back it up. And Rocky Rocco has been able to do both of those things. As well as make a livery. As I'll always love to point out, so many awesome liveries in this series. Drivers just put in so much work into their cars, and it's really cool to see. These two battle. Okay, that's going to be a bit of a hamper to the battle. Probably a little bit of a track limit warning there for Andreas. A few more of those, and he will pick up a drive-through penalty. Definitely does not want to be doing that. See here, Eric Gakassian potentially having a move. Actually, Eric Gakassian did get by Daniel Versosa, I think. And now gets by Velasquez. Velasquez not really fighting that whatsoever, actually. We'll see if that puts him into the grips here of Ricardo Sapien. Ricardo Sapien is going to have to try to get it done quickly if he wants to get it done at all in this lap. And I don't think he's going to have the pace. He has to sit there and wait another lap at least till he gets by. As we come into this very high-speed, windy sector here, very tricky to overtake unless the driver in front makes a massive mistake. And even if they do make a mistake, it's still tricky. Speaking of mistakes, that was Eric Gakassian making a pretty big mistake. That's going to let Velasquez back by, and now Daniel Versosa was thinking to himself, well, I thought I was battling with Velasquez, now I'm battling with Gakassian. Okay. Not sure how that fully happened, but, you know. Ooh, Ricardo Rivera. Oh, I missed out on that. Unfortunately, Casey Schutte, I think Ricardo Rivera getting by Casey Schutte right there. I can go back and check that out, but I think we have a little bit more action, actually, of Jacob Padberg chasing down Tyler Marlowe now, getting within range just a little bit. Still plenty of time to go on this race. 26 minutes to go. that drift isn't going to help anything. So, cool the tires, chill out just a little bit. Fastest lap currently to Tyler Marlowe, 1:43.6. Lapping last lap at a 1:43.9, so he is absolutely flying. Closest battle on track, though, is Eric Gakassian and Velasquez. These guys within about a tenth of each other. Just, oh, and now they're not. Velasquez makes a mistake. And we see Eric Gakassian get by with ease, and Daniel Versosa as well. Had to let them free to lap as they want. Jacob Hadberg now. Why don't we ride along with him as we take a look at the back of the bumper of Tyler Marlowe in front, flashing his headlights, trying to get into his head just a little bit, I think. See if that manages to work. I think Tyler Marlowe, though, seemingly a very cool, calm, and collected driver so far, managing to hold that lead. Isn't going to be distracted by such child's play as that. And as you can see, it is extremely tricky to see anything, and especially stay right behind someone while you're driving at about, well, I can actually get that for you. Let's see here. Average speed. Worse than KPH. I'm not converting that. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is going to be a good opportunity here for Jacob Hadberg, as we see sells him the dummy. Although Tyler Marlowe doesn't fall for it. That was a very nice move, though, from Jacob Hadberg. And he will have to wait a bit longer. Try to set it up maybe for the start-finish straight here. That Honda, though, isn't looking as racy as normal. Jacob Hadberg struggling to get by Tyler Marlowe. Tyler Marlowe doing absolutely everything he needs to, and, well, I was about to say and nothing more, but no, he's doing everything he needs to and more to stay ahead right now. And he's doing a great job of it. A bit further back, we have Eric Gakassian, so close behind Professor Kanotis, he looks like there was only one car there when I switched to them. But no, there is two there. Eric Gakassian was just that close. Driving like a BMW owner should. Jacob Hadberg. These two battles going on simultaneously here. In fact, three battles. Andreas Mastachero as well getting involved here with Dalton Oxborough. Not sure how he got down there. Oh, Dalton Oxborough has made his stop. Oh, that was for lapping. Okay. Now we see coming into the heel, Hadberg looking very calm and composed. And Tyler Marlowe is as well, for that matter. Tyler Marlowe driving the times that he needs to stay ahead right now. Pull a gap onto Brian Faluna. Brian Faluna not really anywhere close to either of them. Which is good for Hadberg, because that gives him time to do a little bit of scrap and try to take that position. And into the pits comes Jacob Hadberg. And behind him we see Brian Faluna. Other drivers coming into the pits as well. I think that's I'm Not Jimmy. Nope, that's other drivers. Don't know who. We will get back to them momentarily. See how their stop ends up. About half the field has made their pit stop so far. Down to P12. Quinn Smith there getting by Christopher Tones. Christopher Tones a lap behind currently. And I'd imagine we will see Tyler Marlowe come into the pits, but we also are going to see these drivers now coming out of the pits. Brian Faluna still in the pits. Jacob Hadberg, first one out, as he was the first one in. 32 seconds in, 32 seconds stationary. Yeah, something like that. So just over a minute. Brian Faluna having about 2 seconds more than that. Ollie Raza with about the same time as Brian Faluna. And now we don't actually see Tyler Marlowe come into the pits this lap. He is going to stay out just a bit. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. See if Quinn Smith manages to come in this lap. Does not. So some drivers opting to stay out just a little bit longer. Very interesting. I'm Not Jimmy's in a cloud of gravel. What has happened here? We see him all on his lonesome. Oh, that's a lot of curb. Oh, and that's a bit of barrier. Oh, and that's a lot of barrier. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a... That's not a great line. Velezquez with a stop-go 30. Speeding in the pits. I'm Not Jimmy has already made his pit stop, unfortunately. We'll see if he comes in for repair on that damage, as you can see that Aston Martin looks more like a Camaro from here. Ooh, and that's not going to help it. Andreas Mostachero here, and Dalton Oxborough, though, going head-to-head. Holy cow. Wasn't close. It's all good. Everything's fine. Quinn Smith leading this race currently, yet to pit. Professor Kanotis behind him. Professor Kanotis looks like he might be leading another race tonight. Potentially with even most laps led tonight, if he does manage to, but obviously that's a bit of a stretch. Jacob Hadberg has fallen behind Ollie Raza. So Jacob Hadberg, even with the faster pit stop, has managed to lose the time to Ollie Raza. Ollie Raza managing to get the better of him right now. We'll see if those two Hondas can stick with each other, or if Ollie Raza can pull away, or if even if Jacob Hadberg can get that position back. It'd be very interesting to see. Tyler Marlowe down here in 4th position after coming out of the pits. He had a very good stop. About 65 seconds stationary. Brian Faluna about 67 seconds stationary, so gaining a little bit on both of them. We'll see if their strategy is paid off, though. Tyler Marlowe staying out an extra lap compared to the other two. And Jacob Hadberg and Ollie Raza still going at it. I'd imagine this isn't going to end anytime soon. Hadberg, as I said before, a ruthless attacker. I need to stop hitting my mic. Hadberg trying to go every which way he can. Is going to have the inside line coming into the chicane. Can he go late enough on the brakes? Honda action. Hadberg on the brakes earlier, though. Ollie Raza does manage to outbrake him and hold on to that for right now. Very tricky part of the track, though, coming up. Ollie Raza with a lot of pressure on his head right now. Manages to regain a little bit of it. About a half a second gap. Has a little bit of time, but not the most time in the world. But needs to get a move on nonetheless. A bit further down the field, Dalton Oxborough, about a second off the second off the time there of Andreas Mastachero. Still lapping green sectors, so lap time's not looking too terrible, at least after the pit stop phase. Professor Kenotis is leading this race. Quinn Smith in the pits. Well, actually out of the pits, I should say. Quinn Smith out of the pits, coming out in P6 in front of Ricardo Rivera, maybe. It's going to be close. We'll see where he manages to come out in relation to it. Looks like he is going to be quite a bit ahead, actually, of Ricardo Rivera there. Tyler Marlowe is 2 seconds away from Professor Kenotis, and Kenotis hasn't pit yet. Marlowe is on demon time right now. I don't know what that man put in his cereal this morning, but I need some of it. Jacob Hadberg here doing what he can to stick with Ollie Raza, looking like he doesn't quite have the pace to get the overtake done. 15 minutes to go. We see the 929 car is around Aaron Kuhn. What has happened here? Let's go back and see the shiny, shiny McLaren in the shiny section. Oh, that's a big drift. That drift isn't stopping, and that's a wall. And that bumper is no longer fully attached. It's not a showroom condition McLaren. In fact, it is back in the pits and looks like that will be the end of the race for Aaron Kuhn, I think, unfortunately. Tyler Marlowe here is going to be trying to make a overtake on track on Professor Kenotis. Kenotis, I would imagine, isn't going to... I was going to say isn't going to fight that hard. Has a little bit of a weave on the straight, but everything's all good. Did that sign say Corning? That's an interesting sign. I'll have to check that come the next lap. Jacob Hadberg still trying to hunt down Ollie Raza. Has him in his sights, but cannot quite pull the trigger. Those Honda's exhaust looking very cool in the dark. You can see them glowing red. And there's the move. Jacob Hadberg goes a little bit deep. Will Ollie Raza try for the switchback here? Ollie Raza, a very experienced driver, no slouch, knows exactly how to race, especially against Jacob Hadberg. These two raced with each other for a long time. And we see them battling it out, switchback, back and forth. We'll see here, can Ollie Raza have a move down the inside? Jacob Hadberg taking the defensive line here on the inside slightly, but back to the racing line. We see Jacob Hadberg holding that position. Very, very impressive indeed. Also, Brian Faluna has now managed to catch up with Professor Kenotis. So, Kenotis being a bit of a hindrance to the leaders. That's alright, though. He is entitled to his track position. Brian Faluna, though, making swift work. Ricardo Rivera trying to battle now with Quinn Smith. Has managed to catch up after... I don't know what happened. Ooh. Makes it stick. Wouldn't call that the cleanest overtake, but was an overtake nonetheless. Quinn Smith trying to come back at him, though. Isn't going to give up that easily. Tries to take the alternate line, is going to have the advantage coming next corner, and it has the overspeed completely. That Lexus making easy work in the Honda that time around. The Honda, though, is going to bite back. Have a look down the inside. Thinks better of it, or just doesn't have the speed at least. That Lexus taking very wide lines comparatively to the Honda. Honda much better at making tight corners. The Lexus a bit chunky and oversteery, but that Lexus straight line speed is incredible, and this is where it's going to matter down the straight. And we see that Honda just can't quite get it. Late on the brakes, so down the inside, we see the move getting made. Wide goes the Lexus. Quinn Smith onto the gravel, is going to try to fight that back down the inside of the next corner. He does keep that line. This is some incredible fighting. Big tank slapper, though. It's going to cancel the momentum out for the Lexus, and that looks like that's going to be the position for Ricardo Rivera. At least for now, we'll see. Quinn Smith looks like he doesn't want to give it up. Think he might have to, though, unfortunately, as Ricardo Rivera looking like he has the pace over him. It does say Corning. Okay, interesting. Christopher Tones here, I think, just got overtaken there by Mark Robinson. Christopher Tones falling through the field quite a bit. Oh. Jacob Hadberg does get by Professor Chronotis now. Gonna leave Ali Raza to do that next. Chronotis still needs to make his pit stop. Yeah, the only driver that does need to do so, of course. Oh, that's a big tank slapper. That's not going to help. And into the pits goes Chronotis, not on the last lap. Who would have guessed it? Tyler Marlowe still leading our race by a pretty sizable margin. Brian Faluna 4 seconds down. Jacob Hadberg even further back than that. Ali Raza not too far behind, within reach, but not at least enough right now. 8.5 minutes to go in this current race. See Rocky Rocco getting by Professor Canoes. Professor Canoes falling all the way back down to P10 right now. At least, let's see, he's probably going to come out. He's going to come out pretty far back. Eric Gossian here in grips of Daniel Versosa. Daniel Versosa would need to make a little bit of a mistake for Eric to have a good opportunity relatively soon. Daniel Versosa, though, lapping quite a bit slower than Gukasi in that lap. Ali Raza has managed to fall off the pace of Jacob Hadberg just a little bit. Not with the fastest lap, last lap for sure. Fastest lap currently belonging to Tyler Marlowe, 1:44.1 from him. Huh? Why is that the fastest lap? That's not the fastest lap. Unless this lap isn't valid. That could be. Brian Faluna with a 1:43.9, but I don't think it was a valid lap. That's weird. Okay. Regardless, there's no point for fastest lap, so it doesn't really matter. Just a fun little thing to look at. while we were watching. Eric Koscian actually getting into quite a bit of range there of Daniel Versosa. Versosa feeling the pressure now a little bit, I would imagine. And thank you very much, Strung Out in NY, New York 2, for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream tonight. Some very good racing. Final race of the season here. Unfortunately, the first race, well, the second race, this is the third race, I guess. The race that didn't happen had such good racing that everybody crashed out, so we had to restart. And that McLaren is so bright. You can see it from like a mile away. That's awesome. Five minutes left to go, though. Not too many battles on track happening right now. Bits of lap traffic here and there, but everyone mainly fairly comfortable where they're at right now and just lapping at a good consistent time. Everyone has made their pit stops, so at this point it is just a drive to the end. Hopefully no more of these drivers end up finding the barrier. Quite a few drivers have thus far, and no surprises there. This track very easy to do so, very high speed, and the barriers are just inches away from you at all times. I think Bronson Turner there just returned to the pits, unfortunately. No, wait, has he? Yes, I don't know. Anyways. 23 drivers left on track. Brian Faluna not looking like he's going to be able to get within the time to Tyler Marlowe. Yellow flag from Jason Provolone, though. What has happened here? Jason Provolone is facing the gravel. Let's go back and check that out. Let's see here. Doesn't look like... Whoa. Whoa. Violent tank slapper. Massive bout of oversteer there, and I think it killed the car. But the Porsche, I think, has an electric clutch, so I don't think it can kill the car. I don't know, though. That was a big tank slapper from Provolone, though. Tyler Marlowe dominating this race, though, so far. Started in pole position, managed to keep it throughout. Brian Faluna not too far behind, and he is gaining. Though he would need to gain a second a lap just to catch, and overtaking on this track is quite difficult, especially overtaking someone the likes of Tyler Marlowe. We do see these cars have managed to catch each other. We see Eric Gacassi and Daniel Versosa and Professor Kanotis kind of getting involved with each other. Bronson Turner and Aaron Kuhn, the two shiny McLarens as well here, but they're a lap down. And Eric Koscian, looking like he wants to make a move here, is going to have to try to take the long way around. BMW on BMW. Can he go late enough on the brakes for Kanotis? Looks like he got on him late enough, though. Ooh, that's trying to go for the switchback was Eric Koscian. Didn't quite make anything of it. And, in fact, almost made worse out of it and lost quite a bit of time, unfortunately. Pushing along, though, we see into the boot. This will be the penultimate lap. Actually, will it? Might not be. Holy cow. Stooch, absolute legend, hitting us with a subscription. Thank you very much, Stooch. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Supporting the community goes a long way here. Trust me. And we appreciate it greatly. Good battle in there still, as we see Gukasian and Chronotis going at it. Versosa not too far behind. These silver plate drivers got a bit of work to do. There will be one more lap. Ah. Well, thanks, Bronson. I hope your next future races go well. Since you're still in the server, I'll at least... Your livery was beautiful in this track. In fact, I will give you a little sneak peek if I can. Where's Aaron? P23? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in time. He has another lap. Okay. We'll stick with Aaron Kuhn once he crosses the line. Because your guy's livery is sick here. In fact, this might be... I don't know. I don't remember which sector it did it. There's a bit of battling, though. I want to follow this battling. Where we will see these drivers having another lap, actually, to do the scrap at it with each other. And Eric Kossian is going to be trying to make a move around the outside of T1 here. Danny Versosa is trying to get involved as well. That might be a bit dangerous. We'll see. Eric Kossian late on the brakes. He's going to have the outside line. Goes wide. Drifts onto the outside of the marbles. Is going to keep that position, though, at least from where he had it before. Okay, I want to look at the livery. The leaders finished the race. That's fine. We got other things going on here. Great job, Tyler. Look at that. Look at that purple. Look at that. It's a blinding light show. Look at that. I don't think Aaron's is in factory condition. When it's in factory condition, it's certainly a lot brighter. In fact, this battle going on so long with these two, it's holding up Aaron Kuhn even, but I'm not, or excuse me, not I'm not, Eric Gukasian battling with Chronotis here through and through. Chronotis isn't going to manage to keep the position. In fact, he is going to have to battle Daniel Versosa now. Takes the inside line on the defense, but Eric Gukasian is going to hold it. Battle for P14 looks like it has come to the conclusion, but behind, oh, Chronotis taps the wall. Will that give Versosa an opportunity? I don't think so. But now we see them coming across the line. Our drivers. Lovely finish to a lovely season. Tyler Marlowe doing donuts. Brian Faluna in the pits. Jacob Padberg. These are our 3 race winners. Well, not our 3 race winners, excuse me. Our top 3. I can speak. I don't know what I'm doing. Rocky Rocco taking the win for the silver plates. Kenneth Smith in second and Jason Provolone in third. Let's grab these guys. We'll grab Brian. And on Deafin, how's it going, Brian?
Green light. Go, go, go.
Hello. I was a little nervous there when that went up. I was about to say something to somebody else, but man, that was a great race. I was yelling out to Michael Massey about the restart.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That was quite
Oh,
the start to race 2.
but I'm glad. It's the last race of the year. I agree with Eric. We want to have fun. We want to be competitive. So if that's what it takes, let's do that. That makes it a whole lot more enjoyable. Makes me definitely want to come back for another season.
Yeah, awesome to hear that. And great drive though. I mean, just all around. How'd you do in the first race? Did you get second as well?
He won.
He won? I knew that.
I
You won the first race.
I managed. Yeah, I managed. Man, me and Padberg came out of the pits.
Yes, side by
practically,
side. Yeah, I know. I caught that.
Yeah, we were close. Yeah, and then the second race. Yeah, those two guys in the front, they were just pulling away from me, and I was like, I need them to battle more. But it's all good. I enjoyed it. That was fun.
Well, we battled enough where I ended up in a wall, so.
It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst
Wow.
of us. Mainly the worst of us. Still.
Nah, that was fun. That was a blast.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, Padberg, you're the champion too.
Oh my god.
How's it feel?
I don't know. It's weird.
You're
It's
a 15-year-old champion
technically the youngest then ever.
that I know of. So yeah.
You should celebrate with a double shot of milk.
Yeah, there you go. Go get the bubbly water.
No. You got to go full on like Indy 500. Just get a gallon of milk. Go get the Mayfield. Get the good stuff. $8 a gallon, and just either drink it all or don't.
Fair enough. Or don't. I don't think you need to add on to that at all.
You just dunk it over yourself.
I don't see Tyler Marlowe in the Discord, but great drive from Tyler Marlowe as well. Yeah, he got murdered in that first restart.
Yeah, I apologize for that because I just didn't realize he was slowing down that much, and then it just happened. So I apologize for anyone I hit. It's a really bad thing.
I think it's all good. I think you hit everyone, so.
It's all good, man. I mean, it happens. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just electrons. I imagine people's tempers would be flared if this were like actual $500,000 GT3 cars, but
Yeah, and if there wasn't a restart, then it would be pretty bad.
I don't know. Speak for yourself. That would have been pretty great for me.
Tell that to the 10 people that retired.
I know. I agreed with Eric in the long run. I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's just better.
And yeah, go ahead.
I just want to shout out Raza for helping me with temps and like fuel the entire season. Yeah, he was a mastermind. Just want to say thanks to him.
There you go. Ollie Raza, absolute legend of the community, fast driver, and a race engineer as well. Who'd have guessed it? And Eric, I see you're in here.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, minus the sickness.
Yeah. Just wanted to pop in and say congratulations to all of our drivers of the GT3 series. What a phenomenal championship. Congratulations to you, Padberg. Even though at the end there, you still managed to bump into someone.
Yeah.
I have half of mine in revoking your championship there, sir. But I'm not going to do that. No, just big congratulations to you. You really bloomed this season. Went from being a quick driver to an absolutely phenomenal pace rapid driver. So I think you should be proud of yourself in that it wasn't just a gimme. There are some insanely fast folk in the series, and you earned it. So good job.
Thank you, man.
I nominate him to drive the Jaguar next season.
Uh,
Maximum penalties.
yeah, and congratulations to all of our drivers. What a phenomenal season! I'm so proud to have a grid that is as fast and as clean as ours, despite the occasional error here and there. But such great racing all around. So good job, everybody, and look forward for you guys to come back next season.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and get another season. That was fantastic.
And
That's
in the
it.
meantime,
Mike.
Eric, I was about to say, well, in the meantime, if you wanted to say in other seasons, because there are not just GT3 Sundays that we offer here at Trackalicious. As you can see on the screen right now, I have the calendar popped up.
Yeah, if you have the calendar up, we are continuing our GT3 Endurance series, which is a 6-hour, 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 12-hour closer at Bathurst. And that's paired up with our new interim leagues. So it's really our break seasons and break months on January and February. But we're pushing through. We're too excited about racing to not race at all. So um, we have our Thursday Cup Series, which are all of our spec cars, going from the Lambo to the Ferrari to the Porsche to the Maserati and the M2. So it's going to be really fun on Thursdays. And then we have the two-man driver swap series on Saturdays that are going to pair up our Enduro series. So fun stuff to do. And of course, our Monday night GT4 Rookie Series has just become so popular that we couldn't leave it without with a big break like that. So that's coming back after some popular demand. And then once those are over, late February, early March, we're going back to all of our regularly scheduled programming with the Monday Rookie Series, the Thursday Mixed Series that I'm sure some of you may have seen on Thursday, and our classic GT3 on Sundays. The who is going to dethrone Mr. Padberg next season, or will they be able to tune back in, and we'll continue our fun.
Yes, indeed we will. And on that note, we're
One
going.
more thing.
Yes, one more thing.
Sorry, don't forget. Thursday, upcoming Thursday, we have our friends and family swap event. So if you're looking to get, sorry,
Yeah, Eric,
sounded really.
take a drink of water. So
Maybe you should
on
tell them.
on Thursday we have our friends and family driver swap. Basically, it's a two-man driver swap where you, rather than swapping in game, you swap in real life with a person of your choosing. They used to be called spouse swaps, but we have recently changed the names of that. Get your friends, get your wives, get your girlfriends, get anyone involved, friends, fathers, parents, sons, daughters involved, and get them behind the sim wheel. That way they can know what it's like to do what you do.
Yeah, I got a sip of water here. So if any of you have been looking to get anyone that you know into sim racing or just try out what we love to do so much, it's a 40-minute race, 10 minutes where the amateurs start, and then you in real life swap seats, and then the pro sits in for 20 minutes, and then you do another seat swap for 10 minutes, pit stop and seat swap for 10 minutes, for a total of 40 minutes. It's been so much fun. Everybody's loved it. Most of the people who've done it, even you get all these wives that say, nah, I don't want to do that. Nobody's gonna do that. None of the wives are gonna do that. And then they end up doing it and have so much fun and want to do it again. So, um, definitely try it out. You don't have to practice. You don't have to like train them up to be super good or anything. Just hop in and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, we're going to raid Sinister Fail. He is new to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and he thinks the game is hard. So, why don't you guys go tell him that, yes, this is a hard game, and give him some tips? Because, yeah, it's fun. And so make sure everyone has a good night, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for the great season, Eric, and all the drivers. And take it easy.